And the guys who are going to be calling it for you is DDK and Sadakist, so tell me what's going to happen.
All right, well, guys, it looks like we're already into the pistol here, so Hazed is going to be making an aggressive movement up towards Upper Dark. He's going to get shut down. That's information play that they needed. And LDLC, meanwhile, going to be trying to get this push up through middle onto that B site, but they're not fully committed just yet. CLG Gaming are trying to assess the situation here.
Yeah, and Finesse is overwhelmed massively as MBK pops out of tunnels as he had his attention drawn toward middle, so it's an easy plant now for LDLC, but watch out, there's still two lurking in the smoke. Cutler's up close. We'll see if Shoxy can go head-to-head against him. They both got Jesus in their name. We'll see if they can find him right now, because it's going to take a prayer for CLG to try and get back in. Shots fired up toward window. Peter's going to go ahead and at least take down MBK, but Shoxy responds, but there's Peter now with the triple. Dazed claims he's North America's last great hope, and he's going to have to be right now in the pistol round. Not a lot of HP left, 17 at that. And yeah, the bomb's going to go ahead and tick away on this one. So a good effort, he gets 3, but the round goes the way of LDLC.
Yeah, it's always rough to start off with a poor economy on the CT half, and LDLC, I mean, I should have brought my bandana, I should have prepared for this, to pull it out for Smiths on Dust 2, as Thorin was pointing out, especially on the CT side, this guy is the true French Rambo. So very exciting stuff here to see these teams clashing head-to-head here on Dust 2, the most classic of maps. But CLG Gaming, I mean, in the back of his mouse buzz, they had really good results actually on Dust 2. They are like a pretty strong Dust 2 team, so this could get really interesting. We're going to see the scout buy from Peter here. And will he be able to catch some damage here? This is actually like a really nice buy here. And on Dust 2, sometimes things can get quite out of hand. If Peter gets a couple tags, you know, these deagles all of a sudden might just be like one-shot kills to the torso. So CLG Gaming in this definitely pose a real threat. And LDLC have to play this very cautiously. You can see that in their posture right now. They're just really trying to assess the situation, looking for the early map control and waiting to see if CLG Gaming are going to try to assault them preemptively.
And I don't disagree at all with that Scout second round buy. It's so economical. Of course, you can't get the head armor with it, but like you said, a couple quick tags, those pistols do the rest, and you're in the round, and it's quickly upset the start that LDLC had. But look at how passive they're being. Already just a minute left on the clock, and they haven't really sought out any entry onto the sites. Actually, it's NBK who's going to get taken down to only 13 HP as Peter takes a shot into him, so the Scout already making a presence on the map. And
this is the danger right now. Peter's able to get another couple connections before LDLC make their play, but hold that thought. They're going to be moving up middle now. Ingo the grenades. Peter with a great jump shot there is going to tag another player. Can he find a kill here? Great shot there from Peter. Takes down Kyoshima on this push. Peter, absolutely key right now as the site is assaulted and taken by the French side.
But no one there to support him, so in the end, he does drop down, and it's all Cutler that's left. Tries to at least take down Happy, and yeah, that's an invitation to save the gun. He'll grab the Galil, and that'll do it for this round. So another one on the board for NBK, or pardon me, for LDLC and NBK. But a rifle at least to pick up to allow CounterLogic something. They'll save fully in the next round and go for that 4th round buy.
Yeah, absolutely, and just putting any damage in is always fantastic. But LDLC, once again Smith picks up that AWP, it's going to be, the interesting thing for me is going to be to see how CounterLogic Gaming is going to be able to deal with this, because initially they're not going to be able to actually afford an AWP to actually face off against him. So they're not going to really be able to challenge middle very easily. And if Smith gets like timing picks towards with his really good spawn towards long or B, these are all things that can cause a lot of damage. So CounterLogic Gaming are going to have to play some really nice team play setups, stay out of these like really long ranges, because LDLC are going to have a massive advantage right now on these long range picks with AWPs, AKs. It's going to be a very tough round here for CounterLogic Gaming in the next couple rounds.
And we'll see Smiths go for that cross pick early on. No surprise there. And oh, I just missed that leg. I thought he actually had it, but they know one at least is crossed to B, and that's valuable information because the other 4 are pushing in through middle. It's a fast cat, but Shoxy there will take down Hazed, so nothing to come of it. And they'll try and push forward now using those AKs. As we see Kyoshima leading the way, but Happy's already gotten behind as well as Kyoshima picks up on Cutler. At least Tarek manages to respond, and Shoxy on the board with a second now. So doing good work there, but Happy finds FNS, and that leaves only Peter remaining, and he quickly gets mopped up at middle as well. So 3 rounds, no surprise. And now we'll see the rifles. We'll see if CounterLogic have any answer at all.
And you know what? This is one of the things I really like seeing CLG do on Dust 2 is when they bring out the AWPs, because they got some really great AWPers on their side. We can see it in the hands of Peter right now. And of course, Smith has got an AWP as well. So this is going to be the early kind of battle for map control, the early battle for picks. This can really set the pace of the round. They are going to play defensively, use the smoke there, but we've got actually a push up middle here from Tarek. He's going a little bit aggressive. Will he catch someone off guard here? That's a very unusual position. Does find Shox, but he gets the better of him. So that's a big loss there, and now Cutler's alone on middle.
He's got 4 players directly in front of him. So we see that flash come over. Now they're going to try and push through. Cutler does try and spam away, but not able to connect. Does good damage, but not taking them out. Hazed comes out to support, though. There's a double for him. Switching over to the P2000, make it a triple. Counter Logic doing big work on the back of Hazed right there. But NBK quickly will silence him. No more for you, sir. As with only 2 men left, they are still against 3 players on Counter Logic's side. And they've got the B site to work with.
So this like Hazed with that 3 kill, able to give them a chance, an opportunity to actually make this work. 2 on 3 though, and it's after plant situation. Certainly not a bad look here for LDLC, as we are going to see the coordinated push come in from the CTs. Counter Logic going to toss in the grenades. And here we go. MBK over by the big box there. Able to pick up 1 frag. Happy as well. It's all on this 1-on-1. Peter not going to be able to do it. Happy closes the round out for LDLC to make it 4-0 in favor of the French team.
And that flash that went through window actually kind of backfired. It blinded himself as he came in and just took away his angle, and as he jumped up onto plat, there was nothing he could do. So unfortunately, CLG not able to pick up, but they show some fight. They show they want to be in this. They will go back to a save this round, but if they can get a few streaking together, it'll be advantage. Nice smoke. That's going to cover off the cross entirely. Smith's not able to connect on anyone, and in fact, that smoke was fully deployed before they crossed, so they won't know it's a triple to stack over toward the B side.
The spray there from MBK does some decent damage to Finesse, but doesn't take him out. And once again, LDLC, they're reading the money of their opponents. They know the kind of weapons they're on. But Cutler actually coming in from short, able to pick up a kill there onto Shocks is quite good damage done there as Happy also falls. So 3 versus 4 right now with some very weak players here for Counter Logic, but doable nonetheless. MBK going to try to get his team into a bomb site, create some opportunities here for LDLC just to close this one out before it gets like much worse than it really is. But Hayes coming in, great shot there with the Deagle. And things are looking very awkward here for LDLC.
Hazed is showing off some big skill, but unfortunately it's not able to last again as he and Peter now bow out. Cutler the only one left. But if Hazed is on fire, all the others need to do is pick it up around him, and they've got the skill to at least get rounds. It's not going to happen just yet. Smith's close out with the op on that one, so 5-0. But they go back to the rifles this time, and here it is. Peter's got the op. In fact, double op. Tarek's going to pick up one as well, so watch out for an op spread across the map.
This is how CLG can put the rounds on the board. This is them playing in their element now on Dust 2, and where they can do the real damage to LDLC. We know Tarek and Peter are beasts with these AWPs, and Tarek's going to go for the pick here on middle, gets taken down by Smith, ready for that. Peter does have the peek as well, and he's going to return with a kill onto Shocks, but it is 4 versus 4, so LDLC, well, I was going to say they could be happy with that, but Peter able to pick up another kill down middle, so nice advantages here. And you can see them falling back to more defensive positions here, so they can rely on the team play. They don't want to get picked now.
They rotate that op on Peter into the backside of B as well, so that's not a bad decision. It's a good angle to hold with low HP. But no one's over that way. They're still toward middle. They've got smokes on both Happy. Actually, they've got smokes on all 3. NBK's got one as well, so they could smoke mid to B and try, but there's still 2 players over there, so Cat's going to be their choice, and that's smart because if you look carefully, FNS is all the way up toward long, so it's going to be just Cutler who's going to have to hold that site.
A is often usually easier in these spots because, as you can see, the 2 players, when you force CTs 2 to a site, B is often going to have these 2 players inside the site. They've got better coverage of one another. And we actually will see Happy trying to push a little bit here with the AWP, trying to make the opening. And it's so much harder to defend A with 2 players in the spot. Misses that shot, though, and that's huge now because they know the rotation's going to start coming in, and LDLC must make the frags happen right now. Otherwise, they won't be able to get this bomb down.
And that team flash actually did a good amount of damage, or pardon me, help to Cutler as it gave him just a bit more time as he tries to juke and jive and stay alive. He does fall in the end, but Hayes on that rotation picks up 1. So now it's a 2-on-2, and the bomb's still not planted, but nice shot, NBK, as he readdresses toward Catwalk, but Finesse puts us into a 1-on-1. They may not get this. Yes, they do. Finesse, a nice shot as he takes a headshot into NBK, and they're on the board. And the point I was going to make is the rounds they've been losing have at least been close, so this could be a great game now.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the rounds they lost, they put LDLC down to the last man, like Smith surviving. I mean, been doing a great work. But the problem for them now is that round was so expensive. We're seeing that, you know, just Finesse surviving. They don't have an AWP anymore. Smith still has an AWP. So once again, the French side returns with this advantage on the picking game. And they are going to, you better believe they're going to abuse this. So we'll have to see if Counter Logic Gaming read this correctly and don't play into the advantages of their opponents.
So shots fired with that Tech 9. Interesting that Shoxy only able to hold on to that, and that goes to show, we say it so much in Counter-Strike, that even if you're not winning rounds, but you can limit the amount of times they can hold on to a rifle and force them to buy, you'll get some economy in your favor quite early when you do pick up rounds, and just goes to show how fragile it's been already for them. Peter this time, though, doesn't have the AWP. So he's playing at a tight angle up close. Oh, watch out. One got through that smoke and dropped. I think Peter heard him, but he's not going to chase him. So this could give them an opportunity to get mid-control massively as he snuck around behind them. But Peter does pick up Happy in the smoke. Smith so immediately responds, but Tarek's going to get the better of the trades. And they continue on. Is now Tarek with the double. And Peter gets the last one. So Counter Logic pick up where they left off in the previous round. That was important, by the way, because 5 rounds on the board. The money bonus was just reset.
Absolutely. And you know what? Counter Logic Gaming, I was saying, you know, they got to make sure they don't play into the advantages of LDLC there. They did that beautifully. They kept to the close ranges. They kept to these nice team play setups. You know, we saw a great read from Peter there, just hiding behind the smoke. And then when the cat drop came in, brilliant crossfire there and using team play very effectively. And we're going to see a boost here on Peter. And he's got an AWP. He might be able to make a quick picker onto Happy. Going to find the angle, but does fall back. Doesn't want to take anything for granted. It's going to actually rattle off a shot to actually bait out a player on lower dart, but it doesn't happen quite yet.
I'm not even sure if he was baiting or trying to get his teammate to push forward for a better boost angle. I'm not 100% sure there.
But look at this, the B plays come in here from LDLC.
And Happy flashing through on the back of his own flash. That CZ so strong. LDCZ comes in with one, finesse drops, but here it is, Tarek and Hazed. They are holding B like they own it, and Hazed is gonna mop the floor as he picks up 4 huge play. This guy on fire for Counter Logic, and if he can continue on, they got a good chance at this.
Yeah, Counter Logic Gaming have been looking really good so far across the board. You know, no one's seems to be really feeling, or at least displaying, that the pressure is affecting them negatively. They're hitting their clutch moments, getting those multiple frags. It's looking really good for them right now. And you can see that no AWP now for LDLC, but again, the cat boost coming in. Peter.
And he has the AWP.
They showed it last time, but LDLC didn't see it. So it's still a surprise here. This is the flick shot, though.
Oh, and down to 16 HP as a result. That's damaging, and gonna push through lower B. If they had got a nade off quickly, they could have caught him there easily, but he does fall to safety. Readdress long. Meanwhile, though, that smoke at mid doors, Shoxy's going to try and just spam away, make sure the close angles are covered if they try to go through.
Shox is huge right now. Shox really needs to create this entry either on mid or Cat, and as we can see, Cat is held by 2 players here, so we can see that the weakness is, as we are the spectators, is actually on A long, and this could be inferred from the early Cat boost by LDLC, so we'll have to see if they read that.
And a smart play as well there by Cutler as he does double smoke off and continues to delay them on catwalk. That pushes him up towards stairs as well, so he's taking advantage of the map position he can gain from that. They're still lurking there, though. They still want to head that direction. The bomb's in middle. They've got 1 player outside long, 1 player at B, so I guess if someone gets careless on CLG's side, they'll make the decision accordingly. There's actually sight over toward
Finesse is there now.
MBK could see one on the backside. Oh, watch out, Finesse.
Shox is so important in his cat position. Can he get the frag? He will. And will he barrel it forwards? He's so good at these cat pushes, just these solo movements on the entries. But,
they tried to flash FNS in and he didn't get there, but now it's going to be recovered. Peter with 1 shot from the site and Cutler down below. And wow, Peter continuing on now. NBK dropping back in at least with 2, and that's going to even us up. Another 1 on, oh no, pardon me, 1 on 2. Peter's still alive. Now he drops. And Cutler with low HP is going against Happy, and I think Happy's just going to push him because that bomb's up on Cat. He doesn't have time. Cutler's going to have to stay alive, but no HP to do it. Happy, good awareness on the round, and he gets the kill. And yeah, the point I was trying to make, that flash was not successful, and they gave away that Cat position they had.
Happy survived with 6 health there, and the remaining player had 5, so that was really, really close there. And as you said before, you know, Counter Logic Gaming, they're losing rounds, but within the slimmest of margins, just 1 player surviving each time for LDLC. So they're having despite having that 6-3, which is quite healthy and looks quite good for them, they're not worried. But this is certainly going to be they'll have to give respect here to CLG because they've got some really good setups on this map so far. But back with the pistols. Pistol save here for CLG.
And it just goes to show how quickly economy can go either way. Because both times, even when they won the rounds, they were close. So same point applies that I made earlier. And now Shoxy, with only a Tech 9, is going to try and get up on catwalk. Successfully gets around the corner to the elbow, and Cutler still hasn't found him, but then he does. Nice shot. 5-7 gets the better, but then he's overwhelmed as MBK follows in the footsteps of his teammate. Peter, though, trying to go through mid and catch them out from behind on catwalk, not able to do any damage. And it's just going to be a mop as LDLC picks up 3 more. Hazed and Tarek drop down.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really seen the double AWP coming into play massively for CLG here. The economy's been so back and forwards for both teams that they haven't been able to stabilize there. Yeah, and some of these cap pushes, though, have been really interesting. And I hope that we see more aggressions like this, because when LDLC hit the CT side, if they play as they have been playing in the past, we're going to see a lot of dark takes, lower dark, upper dark, pushes all over the place, catwalk as well. So absolutely looking forward to that as also. So here we go, all back onto Peter.
Just taking a peek back behind me to see the expression on the faces of Counter Logic, and they do look poised, they do look confident. They're definitely not down at all about their situation starting things off, but now they've got to get back into it. Nice boost to get over top of their own smoke and try and catch one night on Cap, but the player's actually pushed down below. He's below the headshot box. He might come through this, and if that smoke dissipates in time, Shoxy could have a good lineup shot. Hasn't gone that way so far, and actually they're going to nade off onto him. Good damage, 48 at that, so he's down low. And oh, Peter through the smoke takes down MBK. Peter, great start for him already.
And look how they're repositioning now. They got the pick on middle. They know that catwalk, this is the kind of timing where catwalk starts to become a problem. They know there's activity over there. So the only thing they have to worry about is the cat drop. They have Tarek there, who's spotting middle, but he's actually going to be quick enough to fall back into the B bomb site. That's they should be all right. So it actually does look like CLG have a really good chance to just secure the round. As long as they actually hit the shots on the defense here, their positioning looks really fantastic. But in comes the push here from LDLC slowly. And once again, huge pressure on players like Shoxy to make quick openings. They need that so desperately here.
And Finesse is going to close down the bomb carrier. Smith's at long, so that helps them out even more because they can help secure that position. But Kiyoshima is not going to make it easy as he immediately responds into Finesse, and he'll fall back. Meanwhile, Tarek picked up an AK and took down Happy, so now it's all Kiyoshima remaining. But look at the positioning. Look at unbelievable. Counter Logic has left B wide open. They've over-rotated. I don't even know if they realize he picked up that bomb, and he might get a free plant out of this.
Yeah, it does look like they kind of... There must have been some misinformation about the bomb there. And obviously the fact that they're still all there is kind of confusing at this point. They must still think that they have the bomb.
Confused.
The only thing that makes sense is that they think they still have the bomb, but they don't have visual confirmation there. And either way, Kiyoshima, he goes for the peak, which is very brave. Wow. Either way, he's going to get taken down, but yeah, there you go. LDLC going to lose another round. And to be honest, it actually looks like, to me, that CLG should have more rounds on the board than they actually do, because some of these rounds have been really strong from them. Yeah.
And there hasn't been any specific mistakes that they've made. Maybe one or two rounds. There was angles they should have held. That one on Cat when they pushed through on the back of a flash that wasn't successful. But you're right. A lot of these rounds could go either way, and Counter Logic is showing off some great poise on their first major on LAN event.
I mean, they've been showing some good fundamentals insofar as, you know, when the map progresses, you kind of account for team movement. You don't have all the information, like they don't have all the info like the mini-maps like we do. They can only see their own players, so they've got to piece it together. But CLG are reading the map so well and understanding like how to position for their weaknesses that they are always having good setups and good chances to stop these pushes. And this is why they're doing so well right now. And once again, does seem to be a standard opening, but here comes an aggressive push in upper dark from CLG. Can they make this work?
Almost didn't. MBK got protection behind the pillar and almost got out of that flash, but in the end they take him down. But here comes the mid-aggression to follow up on that as Kiyoshima's going to get FNS, and Happy's still lurking on Catwalk as well. This could be a shot into Peter, but that Molotov's going to force him out, or pardon me, Incendiary. And there it is. Peter gets the better of it. So all that remain now, Smiths and Kiyoshima, as they readdress. They get up to the elbow. Smiths actually recovers that AK. He does actually, pardon me, Kiyoshima manages to get Peter. But Cutler's there, and that drops the bomb. Kiyoshima, all that remains.
Great plays here from CLG. 5-7 now on the scoreboard. And, you know, CLG is a team that, you know, so many people said, you know, okay, these guys have amazing potential. You know, this lineup, you know, Peter coming in, being the guy that can just be the missing piece to the puzzle, just bringing them all together, being the motivational speaker, just managing the emotion in the team to make sure that
them up big time.
That all these players can perform immaculately. And we're starting to see that. Maybe this potential is a reality. And we're going to have a push, actually, again, from Tarek in middle. He's going to go to lower dark. Tarek in lower dark does take one kill into Shocks, but he does get traded on by Smiths. But CLG with some mid-presence here on Cat as well.
Yeah, they try and readdress it, but they are going to go through. Smith's actually the first one through, is holding the bomb, so this is an interesting choice. As now he slowly just waits it out for his teammates to agree or disagree and help him out. As FNS gets aggressive on Catwalk, tries to get some shots or get at least positioning onto Kiyoshima, not able to find it. And actually they're going to fall back. They're not committed to it just yet. And Peter, another one on the board. He's up to 17 already. He's playing absolutely lights out. And he's going to have to if CLG want to make a case to try and get through group stages right now, and this could be your first upset. Best of ones, throw loops at everyone. Nice shot, dinks up Smiths through the door. Counterlogic again in a great position as time continues to expire on this round. 40 seconds, 44, pardon me, left on the clock. Hazed rotating back out to middle. And the other two players over at A are going to see the action as Kiyoshima immediately drops to Cutler playing at Elevator, and now he's going to fall down just below, and FNS gets the shot on Smith, so it's all happy that remains. And he's only got that CZ75 to work with. He's going to come around from long, but actually he's just going to fall and run away. Run away and hide as he gives up another round, so 7-6, a 1-point game.
That was a really smart round there, especially from Cutler. Obviously, they had some good kills there on middle and got some good middle control. And then, you know, all of a sudden you're looking at like, okay, 40 seconds left in the round, right? And LDLC, they've lost a couple players on, you know, trying to take control, open up some area of the map. They've lost players. They've got 3 guys left. Middle gets smoked at 40 seconds. Cutler immediately realizes, okay, I'll smoke this off. The only place they can go now is Cat. They can't just, you know, rush through the smoke. It's too risky. So Cat is their best option. He falls back, and then they have like a double angle from below Cat, and then, you know, Peter up on Graffiti. And so that's like an impossible angle for them to deal with, like with just 3 players. So again, just really good plays here from CLG. It is 6-7 though, so the LDLC, you can see the kind of might that they bring to the table.
They're going to set it up again. Peter's still using that off. Oh no, Tarek gets caught out early though through that smoke. Nice shot by Shoxy at middle that time, and he's done massive damage to FNS as well as he sits on only 22. He's going to try and turtle himself inside CT spawn to at least get some cover. Shoxy's not done though. He definitely wants to make something and crack this map wide open at middle.
Absolutely. Shoxy's definitely been a little bit quieter on some of these entries on middle. CLG been getting the better of them here, and Peter with a peek from short. Can he catch some players here? There it is, does take down Kiyoshima. Wow. Shoxy has to chase him down, but Peter gets the second kill immediately. Excellent play. Is he going to get a third one? He does! Happy goes down as well. It's a one-man show here from Peter, and CLG are gaining so much momentum here.
And there was a lot of speculation on how Peter would play on LAN. Well, guess what, world? Peter is on point. North America's last great hope, showing off he is going to be North America's first great star as they look to upset LDLC. They've got the advantage in this round. He's got no fear, by the way. Pushing up Cat like that, unbelievable. As he caught 2 and then the third, and now he falls back. NBK, Smith's all that's left. Still not sure where they want to work. Bomb's actually working up toward the elbow at A, and they've gotten up there, but look, Peter's still back and still addressing it. Misses that shot though, interesting, so doesn't continue on form. MBK gets the better of it. They might try and continue on into the site, but they're not going to do it. FNS is there to recover, and MBK drops 7-7. We got a tie game on the last round of the first half on Dust 2. This is map. Yeah. This is anyone's map.
Yeah, this is the stuff that I've seen with CLG, you know, mouse pads. These guys, like, especially when they get the AWPs going with double AWPs, they are just sickening sometimes with those shots. And we're seeing Peter, like the raw skill there to just hold down against 3 players. Like Shoxy should be able to kill him there after that first frag. And instead he gets 3 kills and basically secures the round here. But either way, you know, into the next round, Tarek going to get the better of Smith, and I wonder if this is actually having any effect on the morale here of some of these players from LDLC.
Yeah, they've never seen CLG before and perhaps weren't expecting this amount of competition. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and feel underprepared in this situation if your mentality's not in the right place, but these guys are veterans and they are the world's best. They should be able to make a case and get back into it. Happy's going to show off exactly that as he will take down Peter. A nice shot with that CZ, and now Hazed immediately responds though. But that bomb is ticking away. It's planted for Catwalk, and oh, how did Shoxy get behind them? He gets 1 with that Tech 9, and now he's going to continue to wreak havoc. He may just get another right now, and they're all low HP. Cutler at least will respond into him, and they will get the defuse. So CLG winning the first half on Dust 2. North America, watch out. World, watch out.
But this is the problem though, right? Is that, okay, they did a great job on the CT half, but this is where LDLC shine. This second half where they get to start on CT, that's where they get to show the real plays, the stuff that people are so fearsome of. This is when Smith gets to... What he's going to do is he's going to go middle every round with his AWP. He's going to throw a flash over, and he's just going to kill you, even if you know it's coming. And I've seen some of the best AWPers in the world play against him here, and Thorin was mentioning that, okay, he doesn't necessarily see this guy as one of the elite AWPers, but when it comes to like Dust 2 and Inferno, this guy just becomes godlike all of a sudden. And the amount of aggressive plays that we can see, you know, Cat takes, you know, lower dart pushes from LDLC. It depends how they feel and how their money is, but you can expect a lot of crazy plays from them. So If CLG can weather that, then they have a real shot at winning this match.
Who do you think needs to step up on either side? I mean, if I'm just looking at the scoreboard quickly, Tarek sits on the bottom at 7. He's normally the guy who's up there with PTR and is a top fragger for them. So
I think for me, I mean, MBK, he needs to be absolutely on point. He always has been holding long here on the CT side for LDLC. He needs to be very good there. But again, more importantly for me, it's all about Smith here. Smith has to be hitting his AWP shots. He just has to, because once the AWP reaches the hands of CLG and Smith isn't hitting his shots, I really am afraid for LDLC here. And looks like we're going to be jumping into the pistol here. CLG versus LDLC, second half here. And this is going to be very interesting. Already middle gets smoked there by Finesse.
We'll see how they address it. It's going to be so important to get things off on the right foot for both of these teams. This game is anyone's right now. It looks like Bomb is still going to be safely held outside of long A. No damage really dealt. Actually, I take that back. MBK just got domed completely down to 7 HP, so a great start already for CLG, statistically speaking, but the man still survives and is still on the map, so it's not a full advantage, so to speak. PTR, though, looking to find aggressive. Pardon me, MBK, there it is. I said it. He's not off the map. That 7 HP is enough. He will get one, but Hazed, Tarek, they both respond, and now they've got the advantage, and Hazed wasn't done as he comes around onto Goose, and Happy drops as a result, but Kiyoshima, it's going to have to work very cleverly right now with Smiths as they go for the retake, and it's not going to happen. Look at Hazed, man, on point right now.
Kiyoshima, 1-on-3. He knows the bomb is there, but it doesn't even matter. Peter going to drop down, throw a bullet straight his way, and that's going to be the pistol for CLG. This is massive right now because, again, this means that LDLC, unless they're going to be able to, with these, with the scout here, the double scouts that we're seeing, can I actually afford any more scouts? Okay, no. So we're going to see the double scouts, the pistols. This is they can definitely make this work. They can definitely take this down. But if they don't, with the AWP is so far away from Smiths, the money's going to be so low, the nade's going to be so low, this is like so hard to work back.
And I just look back, nice shot. There's the scout second round buy. That's why it's so powerful, because they get one-man advantage. But I mentioned earlier, I looked back to see how CLG was looking emotionally. I just looked back, and Shoxy was shaking his head for a good 30 seconds when I looked over.
Yeah.
So LDLC's not looking confident, and
a lot of shots being missed by them, a lot of duels that they would normally win, they actually are losing out on. So that can't feel good here. But you know, actually, with the double scout play on the CTs here, on a buy like that, you kind of want to like hit them like hard and fast, because if you just let them pick away at you, then that's when things get really awkward. We're already seeing 2 frags go down here for LDLC with these scouts.
Great second round. We talked about them being a CT-sided team. While they're showing off that they don't even need real guns. All they need is a scout and a couple pistols. Smith goes for that jump shot. He actually hits it. Tarek is down and out, my friends. Smith showing off some skill, and he's not done. He's looking for FNS, who's still on that corner. The bomb's dropped, by the way, so they got to commit to this now. And here comes Happy on the flank. It's all on FNS. A second round CZ Eco, and LDLC show off why they are such a threat in every single round, and they get back into it immediately.
Yeah, a lot of teams still getting caught by this, and you know, some teams have started to like be very smart about it, and just on a round like that, when they spot there's a scout in mid, they just like send the entire team just like a B, just to hit B really fast, just try to get those 2 entry frags, and then what you're going to do with the scouts on the retake if they have B, like you can't really do very much with it. So tables being flipped here by LDLC, but Peter,
there's a scout response.
Oh my god, this man does not stop.
Man, oh man. Scouts go both ways. Counter-Strike going both ways right now, and LDLC one-man advantage need to take advantage of this as they can. Shoxy's still there. He responds with his own headshot. Looks for another, gets it. Cutler down and out. He's still not done. He looks for a third. He's got 2 people peeking him, but they haven't hit him too much. He's down to 11. They'll flash him off, but he's already gotten inside CT for cover, and Happy's aggressive on catwalk, back off of the distraction of his teammate. And now he's got a double, so Tarek in a world of hurt, but look at the HP. If he could actually just, well, never mind, MBK's there from behind. If he had gotten those lucky 1 bullets on Smith, Shoxy, and Happy, he could have got himself down to at least a 1-on-1.
Yeah. And this is like so massive now, because look at the economy starting to come into play here for LDLC. They're starting to actually build something. And you know, if they hadn't have won that pistol armor scout buy, then again, like they're not going to see an AWP for so long, and they need Smith to get this control of the map like going straight away here. So LDLC are going to start being able to like begin to settle into normality. They should pick this one up relatively cleanly. Just got, you know, just a couple P250s, no armor, no nades. The best that CLG can hope for here is just like to either bum rush a couple players down and get some economic damage in, or try to just get a fast plant in. But if you look at the positions here from LDLC, they're going to stop that. Yeah,
they're just sitting in the sites because they know that holding a position isn't as important as just using the gun power. And Shoxy starts it off again with that scout. Gets one on the board. Tarek, though, does respond, gets that out of his hand. And actually, Tarek's got a double, so I called him out for being underperforming. Well, he picks up a double there, although it's not going to be enough. LDLC, one more round on the board for them. They've taken full control now on the CT side.
All right, here we go. We're going to see the orbs coming into play. This is where things get exciting, ladies and gents. So first things first, we've got to check out Smith is going to be up to his usual shenanigans on middle here. I mean, I think he pretty much does this every time. The flash over the top, here it is in his hands already, and then the peek from the close angle. I mean, the thing is that like even if you know that he's doing that, he almost always gets the frag anyway.
Oh,
it's impressive.
They were late to be. FNS had a chance to go in. They've smoked it off rather convincingly, but they haven't pushed through at all. Kiyoshima was looking, but Cutler's going to get the first kill, and they're already through middle, so Kiyoshima is going to be in the hot spot. He gets two, but he can't switch over to the pistol just in time. And Happy at middle will collect FNS as he tries to come through the door, so FNS still needs a little bit more finesse indeed, as he hasn't worked out the gracefulness of entering into middle. But the bomb does go down, so CLG can at least work with that. Happy's still up close, and Happy's going to get caught out. Peter showing off the aggression still. And now he'll fall back into sight as he spots out one more. And what a shot! Tarek will get NBK, so now they've got full control of the round, and it's all on Shoxy for a retake. 1-on-2, he will flash over, and Peter again tries to find the angle, and he will call that he's already entered the site, and it doesn't even matter that his teammate's still there. He'll do it himself. 10-10, another tie game. Yeah, this is going really, really close here, and definitely betraying the prediction that was made, at least by Foreign. He was expecting a crushing result here, giving all the credit to LDLC. To his merit, it was based on the fact that we haven't seen a result from CLG yet, so that's fair enough. But either way, they're showing that right now that they do have the skill and they can perform against the best under pressure here. So Peter going to get taken down by Smith, that usual peak we were talking about, and now here it comes in. Happy kind of flirting with the idea of going for a lower dark push there, but Everest coming in with the wall bang there onto Smith. I was not expecting that one. No, picking up Peter's op and making full use of it. And he's been known to pick it up occasionally, so he's not necessarily going to subperform with that gun in his hands. He can still be a threat in the round. 4-on-4, the time continues to expire. Not a lot of control so far established from the CLG side. In fact, watch out in B tunnels because it looks like Shoxy's going to push all the way up, and it could actually catch out Tarek, although he's still looking that direction. But Happy, meanwhile, still toward middle. A nice shot just above that smoke catching out on Cutler, so HP fully in their favor as the man advantage as well, so now it's all to do for CLG. It's been a really good read here from LDLC. They've had pretty much nobody on catwalk or A, apart from one guy who's deep on long. They've completely given up A, basically, but they've made an excellent read here because these challenges from CLG just do not stop, and Happy, the kind of secondary upper, the caller, has been making the shots count right now. Shoxy left to deal the damage on the B bomb site. Gonna be rewarded with the round win there. Our LDLC after a couple frags, and we're gonna see that's a very interesting turn of events here in this series between these two teams. Yeah. CLG is putting up a heck of a fight. There's no question about it, but it's a best of one, and it's going to be one of those situations where they want to throw that upset, and it's going to be so hard to swallow if they don't come through with it because it's so close. Yeah, the money is so even on both teams. This is where this is like happening right, very late into the match now. LDLC is starting to get economic control, and it's the kind of economic control that can just build you a round win. A match win. And they're trying to use those pistols to get inside long, but the smoke is up close, and it's completely covered off their angle, and they'll make easy work of that. Happy picking up 3, and NBK with 2 of his own, and they shut it down immediately. So that money is starting to look a little bit good here for LDLC, but CLG, they're going to make sure that they do some serious damage here. They really need to get back into this game at this point. There's not many rounds left until this match is over, and LDLC is starting to get into the groove. Once again, we're going to see the play on middle here from Smiths. This is a force as well, because he only went for the scout. Peter did that time, and immediately gets dropped by Smiths, and he's winning that pick battle now. Peter looked so good early on, but he's going to have to do something about it because Smiths is winning it. As Hazed responds, though, with that AK, that Shoxy down. Happy gets one, and now it's a trade as Tarek comes back into it, but Happy, with the good old friend of fire, will take down Tarek, so they've got the man advantage as they try and rush it in toward catwalk. They get up toward the elbow, still uncontested, but there are players pinching from all angles. In fact, Hayes still lurking and trying to find that one from CT spawn, as Finesse will try and get that bomb plant. They're going to have to secure the angles because they didn't plant for long, they didn't plant for cat. They've got to play this inside the site. And we'll see slowly but surely Smith's making his way into position here. Kiyoshima taking a peek from below. Finesse going to rattle off a shot though. In comes NBK sprinting up from long. Great flick shot there from Finesse, as it's all on Kiyoshima now from below. Trying to make his way up the ramp, but gets shut down by FNS again. And CLG coming back in. That A split play got a bit shut down on long, thanks to NBK, but
Wow, they made that count. That cat push was true and strong.
And I said it, when FNS gets an op, it's not like he's unfamiliar with that weaponry as he makes full advantage of it there. And from a tough angle, they held that site beautifully. So good confidence, as you say, 12-11. It's all to play for. Guns are out. The op in the hands of Shoxy. He hasn't found his mid pick just yet. Peter is still looking, and look at the angle actually. Peter's off to the left that time. Different than he normally played it.
3 players on B here. They're going to go for the push there. And again, this is the aggression, the mix-up that we see from LDLC. But it didn't work out so well because the 3 players were spotted now, and CLG are moving in for the A push. And MBK's alone. He's got to take down at least 2 here. Doesn't manage to do it. Cutler does get the trade, and Happy under huge pressure now. Has to hold down the site. But it looks as if CLG are backing away now. They are using the round time to their advantage.
And Cutler only has 12 HP, which might be part of that decision because it would have been an easy shot for Happy if he walked around the corner too prematurely. So they're playing with a little bit of poise right now and some thought process as they try and go back to middle, but this hasn't worked either because they can't smoke off the doors yet. They've only got one to work with, and that's Tarek. Actually, pardon me, Cutler does have one, my mistake.
And this is it. They might just find the weak point here. Cat will push Happy out of position here, trying to get himself up onto the bomb site.
Oh, this scares me. It's not going to catch him. It's too far away. I thought that might have caught out Cutler.
40 seconds on the clock now, and time is starting to run low here for CLG to make a move, but looks like they are about to rally themselves up to their A push.
And they should get the site easy. It's only Happy at Goose, and although Kiyoshima is quickly rotating onto the ramp, he wanted the angle, and Peter up close, what a shot, taking down Happy, and Cutler with the low HP, 12 to work with, makes quick work of Kiyoshima, so it's all on Smith as he rotates around onto the catwalk. He does have that AWP. Cutler gets up close and personal, but immediately changes his mind and runs away because why peek? Save the gun, save the economy. You're going to win this round, as Smith just looks for exits at this point.
And this is one of those spots as well where Smith, I think, is actually under a lot of pressure in this match because he's not been hitting a lot of the shots he's supposed to hit. And we talked about that earlier, and Smith is even right at the bottom of the scoreboard here with just 9 frags, Happy on 26, just murdering it right now. But Smith, I mean, he needs to start hitting more shots. It's as simple as that right now. I mean, we saw that he had an angle onto middle there before they actually hit the site, where he had like a clear vision on 3 players. That's a shot that he would normally connect with, and that would make a huge difference. I mean, Happy pop flash didn't get anything from that. That's actually kind of crazy. I would at least expect usually a single frag there, but CLG 12 to 12. They're swinging the economy back into their favor. This is huge.
And that is a tense face right there. And look, Peter looks more relaxed. They look. I mean, you got to talk mentality. Underdogs, when they're playing and keeping a game close, in my opinion, always have the mental edge. Peter, unstoppable. He gets another one on Kiyoshima. As he continues his dominance, that flash, or pardon me, that smoke tries to cover off MBK as he gets forward, but Hazed immediately gets the kill. And now they've got a 2-man advantage to work with. This is getting so much closer, this best-of-1 format. I knew there was going to be at least one curveball.
Yep.
I didn't know it was going to be here.
Exactly, and you know what? In this position, only Smith can save them, but he just got smoked off. He has to push like close into the smoke. He's got a tiny gap to work with, but as soon as he takes a shot, at that range, he's going to get traded on immediately. So it's an impossible situation for him on defending A from this position, but it does look like CLG are playing a little bit slowly. Now they've finally regrouped, they're going to go for it. And there is one player who is actually rotating through a T-spawn that could catch some players off guard, Happy, but might actually get finesse here, and that could be a weapon to pick up.
Shoxy, though, is trying to stay quiet in the site. Smith, meanwhile, catches finesse, and now Shoxy's going to pop out, but he can't do anything with it. Unfortunately, it was a good gamble to try and just wait it out, but Tarek will get him, and that'll put the bomb down. Smith's going to run away, hold on to that AWP. Happy going to do the same with his AK, because they are getting extremely broke right now.
Yeah, the money.
Counter Logic might get extremely rich with a win against LDLC if they continue on, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, the money's really being just so close the entire match between these two teams, which is like what we love. It makes for the most exciting games, especially on a Dust 2. But we're going to see Smith carrying this up into the next round. Hopefully for LDLC at least, they don't hunt him down and take him out. That'd be huge here. That's a nice frag there from Smith. It's going to be good for him to remind himself what it's like to start hitting some of these shots and get back into some some kind of a flow state. As we do see 13 to 12 now. CLG, they are actually ahead right now on Dust 2 against LDLC. It's a best-of-1 format in these groups. So this is incredibly important for LDLC to actually make every match count here.
There was a lot of question about who had to step up for CLG, who would play and perform on LAN. Well, they've all definitely contributed. There's no question about it. And that's what they need. That's what they're going to need forever from this point on as a CS team. So great start to their career with CLG, but it's not done, like we say, as there are guns back out on the CT side. A double op, in fact, as Smith heads over toward B, and they'll hold off on that tunnel as Shoxy with that other one does push up toward long, so a lot to contend with still for CLG. A smoke at mid doors as well is going to hold out Happy just a little bit so he can't find that shot.
So it looks like they are, I mean, they're starting off very basic, very default on this one. Taking, upper dark, taking control of middle, starting to push Tarek towards Cat just to take control of it. But, it looks like with Peter, if he's going to stay on the B side there, it does look like they are going to intend to go for that eventual Cat drop into a B split. But, they can keep their options open here. Maybe they can bait out some grenades, work out where the players from LDLC are standing. The teams in these spots really want to find it like a quick entry to give them more options to work with, especially once they have time on the clock. But time is starting to run out here.
Well, they're trying to scout out Catwalk. Tarek hasn't exactly manned up and gone through yet. Cutler will be the one. Actually, no, I take it back. Cutler falls back as he gets flashed. Tarek's going to go through. Shoxy's forced to fall back all the way to long, and now Tarek dropping down is going to be immediately on top of him, but what a reaction shot as Shoxy turns. Now he gets a double onto the side. Unbelievable performance, and Peter's going to have to go one-on-one with him, and NBK still lurking, and Pitt's going to close down Hazed and LDLC. Well, it looked like they gave up the A site, just completely shut them down with reverse angles, and Finesse, the only one left, at least gets one, but it's going to be a hard battle, and there it is. Shoxy gets him as well.
Phenomenal display of Counter-Strike there, like working with the angles there. If you go back and look at how Shox took some of those frags, there are some spots where he could have edged out, peeked a little bit more right, but no, he just held off the first couple of frags, just held there and just let them peek onto his position, just using angles to the most efficient way that he could. And this is what you need. You need these players to step up. You've got so much talent on this LDLC lineup. You need the Shox or Smiths, to actually be performing here, and Peter, so that is encouraging to see.
Peter just missed out on an opportunity to get a shot. I believe that was Kiyoshima that was a bit aggressive toward the doors. And now he'll fall back toward B, and look at this. Happy's already rotated out of A, so they're going to play a 2-1-2 split on the defensive side. Nothing to indicate that as a read right now from CLG, though, so they won't be aware of that or try and take advantage of the A situation as a result.
And both teams are basically broke right now. So this is an incredibly crucial round here. We'll have to see if CLG can make an entry early on here. We're going to see Tarek slowly taking control of Catwalk there. He does need to drop that bomb, though. And there it is. He will drop that one off. And,
this could be the game this round, like you say. The money, so crucial.
So they got a lot of options here still to play with. They can try to look for this entry, try to work out some positions, and obviously the cat drop's still open. But that cat drop could actually, into middle for the B split, could actually go quite poorly for them if they end up going for that, because there is a potential crossfire here between Kiyoshima and Happy. And if they know their nades, if they know this setup well, then this should be very, very hard for CLG. They're going to be running into the grinder here.
And that smoke's out. It's a little bit short on CT spawn. They tried to bounce it around, but Happy's still there, and Happy's going to have a quick line of sight, but no! Hazed was aware. A good play as he bails his teammate out. FNS actually would have been shot in the back. Kiyoshima's still there, though, and he wreaks havoc, as does Smiths, but FNS will at least get back into one. Shoxy does quick work with that secondary AWP from CT, but it's still a 2-on-2, and the bomb's gone down, so CLG looking good right now.
This is a huge round for both teams. The money is completely screwed for both of them. We're almost at the end of the match here. LDLC need to hang on to this. And there
Peter
it is.
Gets the shot when it is needed from the back of the site, and Tarek pushes out, catching him off, and look at how pumped they are. Look at how hyped. Peter, like you said and we said earlier, he's all about controlling the team, never let the emotions get too far away, and you can see him there. Gets pumped, but immediately says, all right, we got to calm down, get the job done. 2 rounds still to get on the board, and you're up against the world number 2. It's not done yet.
Yeah, Smith's able to pick up the AWP, but we're looking at FAMASs across the board. French gun for a French team here, and the double orbs coming in for CLG. So it looks so scary right now for the French side. And here we are. Going to see a pretty standing round, actually, but the lower dark push is going to come in from Happy. This has awarded them massive results in the past. They haven't thrown it in really all that much just yet. Happy could be the playmaker here for LDLC. Only gets 1 frag before getting taken down. And that's going to be a nice advantage here for CLG.
Kiyoshima still lurking inside B. Shoxy pushed a little bit aggressively up toward Catwalk, just making sure they can't get too much of an advantage, but that double op's still on the map, and they are working it now in toward Kiyoshima. He's going to get smoked, he's going to get flashed, he's in an awkward position right now. I don't know they know he's there either, though, as Cutler's going to push up, and Cutler should get caught off. No, he can't quite see him through the edge of the smoke. Unbelievable, I thought he had it. So unfortunate, and Cutler gets the kill as a result. So it's only 2 left for LDLC, and CLG inching that much closer, as Shoxy can't connect on Cutler either, so now NBK, all that's left, is going to run away. Hang on to that Clarion. And man, CLG playing absolutely to perfection in the first map of this X Games tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, Happy took a risk there, but it's and often that does pay off quite massively, but just with a FAMAS, obviously it's a much weaker weapon when you're facing multiple players, even with surprise. Much harder to get that second follow-up kill when they're kind of running at you like that. So it's a really awkward spot. They feel the desperation. Their backs are against the wall. They're having to, just claw their way into any situation they can to just have a chance to win this match back. But now CLG, they're on match point against Team LDLC. This is huge.
Oh, they couldn't knock that gun out of MBK's hand. That would have been the nail in the coffin. So they do have one rifle to work with, and it's going to be one rifle with magic bullets if they want to try and force overtime at this point.
Look at this buy. Look at this buy. How can they expect to win a round with such a buy as this? It's going to take a miracle.
A miracle indeed, especially that Mag 7. There's not really a close quarters you can try and hold. I'm going to be interested to see exactly where NBK is going, but it's not going to matter. The double op's still on the board, and Tarek makes quick work of Smith. So, man, oh man, who would have thought Counter Logic Gaming, a sponsor that just announced this roster last week in their first major tournament, would go against a major team like LDLC and perform so well. And this format, best of one, definitely plays to their advantage, it would appear. It's not done yet. We do see, actually, it's MBK pushed up really close at long with that shotgun. So there is a bit of an advantage in that position, but there's no one in that direction on the map. Only Peter, who's sitting back and just waiting for a careless push.
Yeah, this is really great patience here from both teams. LDLC, they need to stick to the close ranges and to their setups because their weapons are so limited. They're so specifically useful for certain scenarios. And Happy's going to be able to take down Tarek as they try to push through middle here. They want to make this B split work. And Kyoshima is going to go for upper dark here. He might get into a good position for a frag as MBK coming from top mid. Behind these players, does get spotted though. Trying to put the bullets in, use the barrels. Oh, barely doesn't get the frag, but in the confusion, Shoxy picks one up, gets a second, gets a tag onto Peter as well, and they're falling apart right now. Peter, 19 health, and Shox gets him confused between two angles, and LDLC hang on for dear life.
Pick up both AWPs as well, so they've got both rifles in their hands to work with. LDLC showing off why they're such a great, not only CT team, but eco team as well, and unfortunate right there for Counter Logic, but they're still in it. We're going to see rifles. This is it for regulation. Are we going to overtime, or are we going to see Counter Logic pull off the first upset of the X Games? It's all on the line. The smoke's going to cover off that pick from Peter, not able to spot up the two players who cross. He's still holding that angle. And by the way, Shoxy, Smith hasn't played that quick peek that he's done in the past.
You can. I think that's a direct result of his confidence. Like, I don't think he's feeling confident right now, and the risk is so huge at this point. So, I mean, they can't afford to take that kind of a risk to just throw all the match in on a pick like that. So we're going to see a slower style, more consistent style. But that said, much more strength towards the B setup here for LDLC. So we'll have to see if CLG can find an entry here or some information that can help them make a choice.
And we didn't make mention of the fact that because they were ecoed, Hazed and FNS are stuck with only pistols. Hazed went for a deagle, interestingly, but FNS with that semi-SMG, I call it, the Tech 9.
Here we go, though. LDLC about to be tested as Happy stands ready with the flash. Here we go, Peter.
He's fearless, but he's going to have to be magical. Happy's still there. That smoke's going to cover him off, but he's going to pop flash himself out. He turns around. He's got them all blind, but he can't find the angle. Yes, he does get hazed. He immediately changes his attention to Tarek, but Tarek is well aware of the fact his teammate dropped and will put him down as a result. Smith's still in the back of the site. Kyoshima there holding B magically, but no, Peter's going to get another one. And now it's Smith's overwhelmed in the back of site, and Peter magical in the magic moment, and he gets the third. Peter, are you absolutely out of your mind? Because I couldn't predict this. He's got the triple, and it's all down to Shoxy. CLG might upset LDLC. Are you kidding me? North America on the board. I can't. I am out of words right now. The X Games throwing up their first wrench in the system. Oh my goodness.
What a huge result there. Massive upset on the second map of MLG X Games here live. Colorado from Aspen. And you know what? We just have to throw this over to Thorin and Florin, because Thorin, that wasn't quite the 16-4 that you were leading us to believe that was going to happen. So,
called out. Oh, I'm speechless. Let's listen to the experts. They've got it all.
Well, that's certainly not the result we expected there for Florin. I was not expecting LDLC to lose, especially a close game, you know. You'd think maybe LDLC plays terribly, maybe they could get upset. But actually, I mean, that was a very, very intense game.
Yeah, it really was, and I'm gonna say that was all Peter.
Yeah, not all-star level performance.
Fabulous. Actually, this is the first time in a very long time that I've seen an Opper have such an impact on the game. The only really other Opper that I can actually say that about would be Kenny. just fantastic performance. And that last round, that was a nail biter. Just look at the HP that CLG had there. They just kept on peaking because they knew if they just hold the positions, they would probably not end up winning. So crucial, and I'm really surprised. That's actually a pleasant surprise. The first upset of the tournament, especially versus a team like LDLC as well. It's good job.
And yeah, on the first half, on the CT half, Peter was already having a really great performance. He was doing great. Tarek wasn't doing very well overall. It looked like, okay, LDLC picked it up. They were heading towards the win. Maybe it'll just be like one of those, like I said before, sometimes you can lose, but a guy can have a great performance. No, Peter obviously all-star performance there. The key rounds were triggered by his AWP. I mean, I guess those glasses really are magical, you know. It's like he has a scope within a scope. It gives him extra vision onto the map there. I think, you know, people often wonder, like, maybe he has like performance enhancing glasses, you know. I think we need to check those. Are they legit? Are they just enhancing things?
I would just want to point out as well, one thing. It's actually quite a surprise as well. LDLC were up 5-0 starting the half. Then CLG came back. They started playing well. As you were saying as well, Tarek didn't really play up to his probably usual standards. Coming in, started getting a roll on during the later stages of the game.
The other thing was, the Peter guy, when he was doing well and the others weren't doing so well, you saw him, he was like getting on everyone. I mean, I can't exactly repeat what he was saying. He was saying, listen, mother lovers, everyone, let's do this, let's go. I told you. And he actually did tell us, he showed us in that game. But hey, they almost lost that game as well. Almost went to like overtime type scenario, tie scenario. It looked like they were going to win for sure. LDLC's on this crazy eco where they have a FAMAS and then like SMGs and it was nothing. How did they win that round?
I don't really know. Like, they were up on catwalk. The thing is, I think there was a little bit of a confusion for CLG's side there. They didn't really know where to go. Yeah. They had middle, and they could have just as easily just go B. Because they had Happy, like Happy was down, and they didn't really have anyone. The only thing they had one guy on A side, they had one guy in middle and one guy towards B. Just hit B there, or even go back to long, because you had the time for it.
The worst thing they did was they tried to think to themselves like, right, well, we're going to win. Like, we've got a very good chance to win here. Let's just play safe. But actually, in doing so, they set up one of the few scenarios where they could have lost, because they got into the one area in the map where you can be shot from like completely different angles, and that's what happened. The LDLC players had really good communication. They set it up. One was peeking lower as the other one went catwalk, as one came behind, and it meant that if you were the guys on CLG, you didn't know where to look, you know. So it looked actually from that like, wow, LDLC's just saved it there on a miracle round. But no, in the end, CLG takes the upset. One of the craziest upsets I can think of in CSGO history, because think about it, LDLC are the reigning champions of the last major, DreamHack Winter. They're one of the top 2 teams in the world. Maybe they can even go out in the group stage here. They haven't ever failed with this lineup to ever finish top 4. That would be a shock in itself. They obviously lost it. They'll now think they could have gone to a tie. I mean, this is a very shocking scenario for us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this result happening on a lesser known map like Kabul. You know, it's an upset map.
Oh, that's another factor. Yeah, Dust 2 is LDLC's best map, at least in my book.
Yeah, but exactly. You know, a map like Dust 2, which LDLC should have that every day of the week, and then you have CLG coming in. Again, they kind of went the Liquid route there, where okay, we'll just play our best map. We don't really care if this is the opponent's best map, which it didn't really work out for Liquid versus Fnatic, but CLG, at least it worked for them.
And for all the CLG fans coming over from League of Legends, I'll just reference an old joke, which is in CLG, they're the potential team, okay? Everyone always expects they can do great things, but there's a famous meme, okay, that says that what they do is they always win one game to give the fans false hope, and then they lose the rest of the game. So I hope they're not going to follow that trend of CLG history. I hope this is like a new era for CLG in CSGO, and maybe this can be the next great NA team. You know, we don't have the old iBuyPower guys here. Cloud9 haven't played yet. Team Liquid looked a bit shaky against Fnatic earlier. Maybe this can be the team to surprise us. This was the team online that was looking very good, but you wondered how would they do on LAN. First game, very good, but hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First of all, they won 16-14. It's not like they dominated. Versus an amazing team, admittedly, and on a very good map, but I want to see more from this team still. I want to see them in the rest of the games here. How will they do versus Fnatic? Now, if they can upset Fnatic, now we're really cooking with gas, you know. So let's have a look at how the group stands at the moment. We want to see. We've had 2 games so far. Let's see what it looks like overall. There we go. So, in our first game, we had Fnatic confidently, convincingly defeat Liquid. It was 16-3 on Inferno. In our second game, a very tight but thrilling upset, intense all the way in the second half. LDLC fell to CLG, these underdogs. Actually managed to beat the reigning major champions. 16-14, very tight game there. And we're going to look at the schedule now. What's going to be the next game for us? So next up, we've got Fifi's former team, and Ninjas in Pajamas. They're going to play Team Dignitas, coming in with the new in-game leader, Carrigan. It's going to be 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Can Dignitas surprise us with their new lineup? Will NIP continue the great form from GMAC Winter? That's kind of what we're looking at the moment. Give me some very brief thoughts on that matchup here.
I think it's going to be one of these matches where it's going to show how good Dignitas are right now, and it's also going to show us, did this break affect NIP in any way? Normally, during breaks, especially just look at NIP during Gfinity the before, we had a break, we went into Gfinity, completely tried, like we were horrible. Is this going to be the same here? And has Dignitas prepared enough? And again, we're probably going to go more in depth about that game later, more about maps and stuff. But I have a pretty good idea what map it's going to be. But that game is probably not the one to miss. If you're going to miss any game today, that game you really should stay and watch.
Yeah, for Group A especially, that's like the key pivotal game to see who might finish first. Hey, who might finish second, depending on how the group goes. Okay, you're going to tease us there. You won't tell us the map. We'll get into that later. We'll save that Fifth Lauren's secret theory on which map it'll be. But now we're going to have a quick commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll have an interview with a winning player from CLG. So let's see what they have to say. But first of all, let's watch some commercials.